This episode is brought to you by Resy and American Express. Resy is a digital platform that connects restaurants to restaurant lovers by elevating dining experiences, providing original industry content, and helping to fill some of the country's most exciting dining rooms. Because restaurants have always been more than just places to eat. The amazing world of restaurants is just a few taps away in the Resy app and at resy.com.
Finished training for the day? Time to fight post-workout fatigue with Core Power Protein Shakes. They're packed with 26 grams of high-quality protein to build muscle and electrolytes to help hydrate. The nutrition you need to help your body replenish, rebuild, and repair post-workout so you can power on to the next one. Champion your recovery with Core Power. Visit corepower.com to learn more.
You know, when I started making videos with my best bud, Will Waugh, about food in London, if you could say, right, mate, 10 years on, Gordon's going to hand you a mic and ask you to talk about the Apple TV Plus show that you've been hosting, that he's made, I'd never have believed that.
This is Taste. I'm your host, Matt Rodbard. Jesse Burgess is behind Topjaw, the wildly popular, restaurant-centric social account covering the scene in London and beyond. Jesse is also the host of a cool new series on Apple TV Plus, Knife Edge, Chasing Michelin Stars, which is streaming now. The show follows several restaurants, including Kokodak, Naksu, and the Musket Room in New York, and Feld and Esme in Chicago, as they sweat it out during Michelin Guide season. Jesse reveals how he views these star-worthy restaurants and what it's like being at the center of food influencing. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Jesse Burgess, welcome to This Is Taste. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm really excited to chat with you because you do two things I really like. You do Topjaw, amazing. I love it. I'm a fan. And then you do this new show, Knife Edge, which was out on Friday. We're dropping this soon after. And I love this show. You really nailed the Michelin Guide and kind of like the drama around it internally at restaurants. I think it's difficult to capture that in documentary form without it being too Hollywood and kind of fake. And from all accounts, and I've screened 2 full episodes and watched 2 more, so I'm up to 4. It's really accurate.
Studio Ramsey have done a really good job at having a perfect balance of beautiful cinematography, but also a lot of raw, cameras moving really quickly because they're following the action in the kitchen, and I like that blend. Yeah,
me too. It works really well. I think you picked some great subjects too. I mean, in New York alone, you've got Naksu, which I think is a polarizing restaurant, and it shows that some of the critical blowback from it on your show. And then, of course, Michelin. And, I don't want to spoil anything. You can obviously check out the Michelin Guide and see who gets the stars and doesn't, but don't do that before watching the show.
Yeah. I went to Naksu last night.
Yeah.
Because it's fun. We go to these restaurants, we get stuck in. I do, of course, eat, but there's 3 cameras around me and, they have, cameras eat first, right? So they film the dishes and then I can sort of go in. So it's nice to return to the restaurants and have a proper dining experience.
Yeah. With no cameras except for your own.
Exactly, yeah.
That's good. I think it's a terrific show. Before we get to more details about about Knife Edge, I'd like to hear about Topjaw. I'd like to hear about how you and Will, how did you land on this format that it really works? The man on the street interview is obviously part of social vocabulary these days, but you guys are great. You're great on camera. How did you land on that?
So, Topjaw, we started it 10 years ago. So for the first 8 years or 7.5 years, it was very much a passion project just for Will and I to do as a hobby. So we had other things going on, but some friends go and play golf together or whatever, we would go and make a video. And of course, because of that, we weren't playing to the algorithm. Growth was quite slow.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And then it got to about sort of late 2022, early 23. And we were discussing, we were like, God, I don't think we can carry this on. Like it's not really making any money. It's quite a big undertaking. There's an expectation for us to keep posting, and Will was starting a family, and it was just it was a real crossroads. And so we had a chat and we're like, right, do we pack this in or do we just throw everything at it for one last stab? And we had a certain amount of money in the bank account that we saved up over 7 years, 8 years, which was quite pathetic, really.
Like a car? Like you could buy a car with it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not an incredible one.
Okay, good.
But, you know, there was a car there.
Enough said.
And we decided, like, okay, we could take this money, we could hire like a little studio so that we're together, and we could employ one member of staff to then sort of help us. And we've probably got 8 months to a year run rate until everything's dry. Not paying ourselves anything, obviously, but like that's that.
Production.
And we thought, you know what, let's just go for it. And I had a friend, Joe, who's an American guy, and whenever he came to London, big foodie, I'd take him to restaurants. And I'd always basically gossip with the chef, like talking about, you know, where I've loved recently, where they've loved, you know, what's really exciting, what's a bit disappointing, what chef has moved where. And he sort of observed this a few times and just said, that's your short form. Because we had no idea. It was all YouTube, long form videos. We wanted to get into, you know, TikTok, Instagram, Reels and stuff. And he just went, if you could bottle that up, that would be a great like social series. And so that's when we started doing Best of London. And the first one that we put live was like...
What was that one?
It was with a chef called Dom Fernando, and he's a Sri Lankan guy. He's got a restaurant called Paradise in Soho in London. And, you know, he was then helping us beckon other chefs out of their restaurants to come and do these interviews with us. And from the very start, we asked, you know, best restaurant in London, which is a really difficult question to answer.
Crazy question, impossible answer.
Yeah. But we know that. That's the point.
That's the point.
And then also we'd always ask most overrated as well. Because I always feel like with an opinion, if you just say everything's amazing, what is amazing? If everything's art, what is art?
No, it's great.
But like with the overrated question, it kind of grounded. If you're willing to say something is, not saying it's terrible, but just has a little bit too much hype, then the rest of your recommendations become a lot more potent.
Yeah, and like they want to make sure you're just not doing PR. And I like that you put at the top of your gram that you do not take money from any of these restaurants, which is kind of the exception here. Tell me about the research that goes into your current Topjaw productions, because like you guys are really, really informed. You go to cool places. And how do you select the restaurants? Because I'm sure every single restaurant is pitching you, obviously. But how do you pick them?
It's often we'll profile places where we've been before. Basically, I am out and about all the
obviously.
time.
Okay, cool.
Or like I'll know a chef, and maybe they worked as a sous chef somewhere else, and then they've opened their own place or head chef. Like you know, like any industry, there people sort of move around, and you can sort of spot like, oh, that's going to be good because they're there. You know, it's hospitality, right? It's people-led business. So you just follow the good ones. And I go to a lot of like pop-up restaurants, and like I'm going to one when I get back that's in someone like a chef's home in North Finchley. Oh, cool. Which is, you know, doesn't get much more grassroots than
I love that. Have you done Rambutan yet near Borough Market?
Yeah, oh God, yeah.
I love that spot.
Cynthia is awesome.
Cynthia's dope. I love her. She's been on the show. How do you think about the responsibility of featuring these restaurants? Because there's obviously, when you put them on Topjaw, they have to be ready for that moment, right? Because like the lines and the crowds do arrive.
Yeah, I think we have a great like audience. I'm so proud of like the audience that we have because they're discerning people. They're not necessarily the people that are just going to go stand in line for a bayonet that they've seen online.
Right.
Like they're kind of going out for a special meal or whatever, and they want to make sure they spend their money wisely in the right place. And I think they like the story behind the restaurants, not just, here's a massive cheese pull. You know, we don't do that.
Well, I like you. I mean, you're a journalist in many ways. I don't know if you consider yourself that, but you're actually like reporting. You like shake your head a little bit?
I wouldn't say a journalist.
Closer than most.
I'm just a real, I just love this industry.
Yeah.
And I love food and I love people.
Okay.
And so therefore, nothing is more rewarding to me than a restaurant like opening. The other day, Dom Hamdi opened a restaurant called Canal. And, it's in a really weird part of town. It's in like a new building on a canal with loads of graffiti over the road, over the canal. And again, he is like a discerning restaurateur. He's not doing Instagrammable food. He's just doing really delicious food. And it is really out the way. No restaurant was there before. No other restaurant really is around.
Right.
And so there's no footfall. And so for him, PR and getting the name out there was really important. So we went, profiled the restaurant still whilst there was building works going on around us.
Oh, fun.
But I knew the chef, I knew Dom. And also, if we film somewhere and we don't particularly like it, we won't put the video live. So if we like the food, that video is going live. And, he said that they got 800 bookings overnight from this video that we put live. And he was like, without that, it would have been really tough. And that is just the most rewarding thing ever.
Clearly that's why you do it. I mean, you obviously have a business and it does well, but you clearly love restaurants, and it's infectious. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about the show Knife Edge. I mean, just from the jump, for you and your producers, and I know Gordon Ramsay's involved, what was so compelling about Michelin? Because I think there's a lot of lists, particularly in the States, and James Beard sometimes goes above Michelin in some circles. But the more I've been talking with journalists and folks about the rankings of restaurants, we always come back to Michelin. Mm-hmm. It's truly, right now, on this morning we're recording it, the most influential awards program for a restaurant, at least getting butts in the seat.
I like the way that you've classified that it's this morning, as of this morning.
Yeah.
As if in 3 days' time, someone's going to upset old Michelin. But it's a really, I just love how secretive it is.
Yeah.
I feel like we're watching a movie about a world that has this elusive, secretive, CIA type operation that would never exist in the real world because an inspector would go rogue or someone would compromise it in some way. It's a tire company 125 years ago that started a guide to effectively encourage people to wear their tyres down. Yeah. And yet still today it is the most relevant and prestigious culinary award there is. And I think that's just, really fun.
I mean, particularly in places like New York, LA, and now they're launching in the South, it's wherever European tourists are flocking in the States, they are looking at Michelin, and Asia as well. So I think that with James Beard, that's a big awards program and it's very coveted and prestigious, but you're not really getting the European travelers and the Asian travelers caring much about a James Beard award.
The family that vacations together stays together. At least, that was the plan. Except now, the dastardly desk clerk is saying he can't confirm your connecting rooms.
Wait, what?
That's right, ma'am. You have rooms 201 and 709.
No, we cannot be 5 floors away from our kids.
The doors have double locks. They'll be fine.
When you want connecting rooms confirmed before you arrive, it matters where you stay.
Welcome to Hilton. I see your connecting rooms are already confirmed.
Hilton, for the stay.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Let's go back to the inspectors part, because you're definitely doing the dramatic, mood lighting. Identity is not revealed. Interviews. So these are real inspectors that you're talking to on camera.
First time
it's not fake.
ever.
It's not like some actor.
So the producers did interviews with the Michelin inspectors, but of course they didn't want even the producers to know who they were.
I see. That makes sense.
It was all under, all behind the screen basically. And so when they then did the in the series that you've seen, those are actors.
Those are dramatizations.
Those are actors, but the voice is the inspector.
Got it. Yep, that makes sense. I'm glad you clarified it. I actually assumed that.
Yeah.
But when you're talking to inspectors, and we've had a former inspector on our show, and she revealed what she could legally about the program. But what did you learn about these inspectors?
And also, I know that there's a couple of former inspectors that go around doing interviews who aren't former inspectors.
Interesting.
because there's no way they can prove it. I was talking to the Michelin about this, and there are people that write these Reddit posts that say, "Oh, I'm a former inspector," and they're not.
No, we had Mahira Rivers. She's a writer for Taste, and she's been on the record multiple times as a former inspector. I trust her. Right. Just to be clear that you're not referring to our inspector. But yeah, there's probably con people who are like, I was an inspector and try to get in free at restaurants now. But like, Jesse, what did you learn from these conversations with the inspectors, and really for our audience, just what are they looking for?
So they're judging on 5 things, right? The quality of produce, the harmony of flavors, the technique, so the mastery of cooking technique, the consistency, and the personality of the chef.
Oh, cool.
And that 5th one, because to get 1 Michelin star, you need to be nailing all 5 of those. Mm-hmm. But to rise through to get 2 and 3 star, you need to have so much personality on that plate. Like you need to have, they say for someone to, like a chef could eat that dish, or an inspector could eat that dish and go, I think that's by Yannick Eleno or Hélène de Rose. Yeah. And that is how you get to 2 and 3 star, which I think is so interesting.
I love that. So if you can make a clear name for yourself on the plate and you have an identity that you're like, that's a Cocodoc dish.
Yeah.
As featured on the show, Bib Gourmand star. But anyways, that is important.
It's like a musician having a really unique sound.
Right.
It's that exact thing. And you can be a great musician and not quite have that signature sound. And it's the same with chefs.
Did you get a sense about how much these inspectors are dining out? Like what their actual life is like?
So much. I mean, especially in the lead up to ceremonies, they be sometimes doing 3 meals a day.
I bet.
At that level, which is crazy. They have to have eaten 1,000 meals of that ilk to qualify as an inspector.
Right. So in the application process, which is secretive, that is a data point that's interesting. So they have to have proven that they've been to 1,000 meals around that of this level of Michelin.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
I think
crazy.
That's
and what I
good
find
to hear.
What I find interesting is it doesn't hinge on one inspector.
No.
So yes, if you have a bad service and you have an inspector that comes in and you give them a bad time, that could be curtains for you. But you will be inspected by multiple inspectors, and then they have to unanimously agree, like a jury, on whether or not to issue you a star. So if one inspector goes, I had the best time ever, and another one says, yeah, me too, great. But if one person goes, no way, it sucked, then you won't get a star.
It makes sense because you need to be unequivocal about that 1-star status.
Yeah,
and
well, that's the consistency, right?
Exactly.
So if you're great 5 times out of 6, that's not star worthy.
That must drive the restaurants fucking crazy.
Well, exactly. And I think that's what Knife Edge shows really well, because they are so tied into this one inspector. You know, if they suspect someone is an inspector, gosh, that's a really weird sentence. If they suspect that someone is an inspector, they will be like all over that inspector. But I really like in the series, one inspector saying, yeah, they were fawning all over the table next to me.
Yeah, right.
And actually, I was the actual inspector.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So did you, while filming this series, and to be clear, the series goes from New York to Chicago to Denmark to London to Italy.
Did you
Sweden
ever to Mexico?
To Mexico, too. I haven't watched that episode yet.
LA.
Did you ever film an inspector? Did you ever catch one on camera?
No. Well, yes, I think.
Yeah.
Because obviously in most of the episodes, there are moments when they go, I mean, most nights these chefs are trying to pick out who is an inspector.
Yeah.
And they might, we catch lots of these scenarios in the series, but it's because it's happening all the time.
Yeah.
They have someone who's maybe on their own and taking pictures, or maybe they're in a couple and they're asking questions, or they're French.
Yeah.
And your mind just starts going crazy.
Yeah, because we know that a lot of the inspectors are based in Europe and they do travel outside of territory. And then same with Americans traveling to Asia. I know Mahira said, I think she traveled to Asia. I mean, what I love about Knife Edge on Apple TV Plus now, to be clear, I got to shout it out because you got to find it.
Yeah.
It's the psychology. It's very stressful to operate a restaurant in New York, but to be at the caliber that you're searching for that 1 star or elevating from 1 to 2, you can't stay sane.
Yeah, they say you're sort of only as good as your last service, which is, quite a treacherous way to operate. But the thing is, it doesn't matter to these guys. Like they only want to do that.
Yeah.
You know, I liken it to being like an actor. You know, like you'll find an actor who only wants to be an actor. You know, and will go years and years like out of work or working bar jobs because that's all they want to do. And these guys are the same. They are doing it not really to earn loads of money because it is a terrible way to earn money in terms of it's so fraught with risk and you know pressure. But they are doing it because they just are obsessed with the craft and they want the respect of their peers. And it's a really fascinating like industry and way to operate.
Yeah, and you really do show the stress boil over. Let's talk about the New York episode, which I was drawn to living here. First off, I just love the restaurants you profile. Mentioned Kokodak, Naksu, and then Musket Room. Those are the three that you really focus on. And we've had, I think, all of those chefs on the show. So it's nice to see you recognize them. What did you learn about these restaurants and like this dynamic in New York with Michelin?
So Michelin have been in New York for 20 years, I think. It was 2005 they came here, And so where you have it in like France, where they've been 125 years, Italy, I think they've been 100 years, the UK, they've been for many, many decades. All the chefs have grown up with it. Whereas like Eric Ripert in New York, or that's a bad example because he's French. But you know, American chefs or people like, you know, Bobby or Mary from Musket Room, like they haven't grown up with Michelin. It's a newer thing. Yeah. So it's not like they were running around when they were a kid being like, I want to be a Michelin star chef, which I think you get in Europe. You know, some people are just like, boom, right from when they're super young. But I think with every year, awareness is growing for Michelin. And like, and you know, I'm really happy to see they've just gone to Texas. I mean, I kind of disagree with some of their shouts in Texas.
Give me one. What do you disagree?
Well, the thing is, they are way more qualified than me. So what do I know? But in terms of my own experience, Franklin, you know, because they gave Michelin stars to a few places, barbecue shops in Austin, and they didn't give one to Franklin. They gave it a Bib Gourmand.
Yeah, and Le Barbecue probably got one, right?
Which one?
Le Barbecue?
Le Barbecue did, but Ali's fantastic. Sure. I love that she got one. But yeah, I just can't believe that you didn't get one there.
Yeah, Travesty down in Austin. I love the like little path you took us on there. Let's go back to New York. Though. No, I appreciate it, dude. Jesse, you're my guy. Like, let's talk shit about Michelin when we can. Making mistakes.
It's not that. It's just, you know, because also this show is not a fluff piece for Michelin as well.
Isn't.
Like, you know, I think Michelin encourages chefs to really push the boundaries, and without it, we probably wouldn't be as advanced in what we experience. Right? It's like F1. Technology filters through eventually into cars, and I think that Michelin encourages chefs to push, and innovate and just be really creative, and then that comes down to very casual dining, and I love that.
I mean, once again, Michelin today, as we record this, is the most influential reviewer, ratings guide, listicle, whatever you call it, that we have for Butts in the Seat. I want to go back to the original point about the 20-year cycle. I agree, like, there's definitely not that heritage in the 100 years, but 20 years in New York is like literally everyone who works in New York right now. So I think like while it's true they didn't grow up as children thinking about Michelin, I think that every single chef working in New York has grown up with Michelin in New York being what you strive for in most restaurants, not all, but most when you're concepting the restaurant. Yeah. Let's move to Chicago. I love the choice of Feld. I think it was like really smart to obviously see the future with this restaurant that, as is well documented on the show, it was a very controversial opening and very polarizing restaurant. I've not been, but I think the people I respect the most rave about it and think it's truly one of the most remarkable restaurants in America. Tell me a little bit about that case and also Esme, which is another restaurant in Chicago, but it's a different scenario. It's trying to elevate from 1 to 2. And there's a great data point on the show where when you elevate from 1 to 2, on average, you receive 40% more business, that was a great stat.
Yeah, so that stat is actually from the late, great Joël Robuchon. So he said that with 1 star, it's 20% more 2 stars, 40%
Yeah.
more, and 3 stars, buckle up, it's like 100% more business.
Yeah.
But I don't know, part of me thinks that it's actually more than that. Like,
Probably is.
For 1 star in particular.
Completely.
Because to go from no stars to 1 is a huge deal.
Yeah, I mean, the 50,000 restaurants in New York, and you're like anonymous basically, unless of course with the New York Times and New York Magazine you get great editorial, but like no people who are coming from Lyon to America aren't reading the New York Times really. They're checking out Michelin. But tell me about Feld a little bit. Set up the restaurant because I think our listeners may be interested in checking it out.
Totally, yeah. So Feld in the Ukrainian village in Chicago, Jake set up this restaurant. He wanted to do 30 courses, which is a lot. I mean, they do come at you thick and fast, like bam, bam, bam. And obviously it's not like 30 lasagnas. It's 30 bite-sized dishes, basically. And he wanted to change that menu basically every day.
Yeah. I saw that TV show.
The what?
I saw that on them. That's my first and only bear reference on this conversation.
Oh, I see.
That was the whole thing on the show. Sorry. Continue.
But it's so... Knife Edge is the real version of the bear, basically. I think
For sure.
just because you brought that up. I mean, it really is.
It really is.
And I love also, they've done so well with the sequences where it's like playing with the chef's mind, like you get in the bear. It's like service or doors and then bam, 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 bam. It really channels that energy like to you straight away. But yeah, Feld, he's very avant-garde. He will serve you a dish that will just be like a slice of tomato on a plate. And you go, what? What are you doing? And it's because he'll just say, that's the best tomato in the country. And his point is like, I know this is unconventional. I know it's kind of crazy, but I'm trying to platform produce. He talks so much about his like relationships with all his suppliers.
Platforming produce is amazing. That's a quote from him. That's a really great.
I think I just said that.
Yeah, you said
I
that.
don't know
I was like, that's an amazing way to say it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
But he really said, he constantly talks about, he'll serve you a piece of cheese or whatever it is, and he'll tell you all about the cheesemaker.
Yeah.
Like, this is from Danielle in Maine or whatever that may be. And I like that he's celebrating the suppliers, because most restaurants you go into, you haven't got a clue who supplied them. Maybe they'll talk about their meat supplier, but that's about it.
Yeah.
And so that is very different. But, he stuck his head above the parapet doing something very rogue. And I think that, it was very divisive. Not everybody loved it. And I won't say too much because I want you to watch the show. But it is, it was... I love the comparison between him and then Chef Norm at Carino. And Chef Norm is sort of, I guess, maybe doing things a bit more conventionally. Incredible food. Like, I was doing an interview with Forbes and they were like, if you could go back to one restaurant tonight, what would it be? And I said Carino.
Carino in Chicago. Yeah. I love that. It's like a lesser known restaurant on the national scale, but clearly aiming for stars.
So this is really interesting. So is Feld way more known than Carino?
To me, in my little small world and with my peers.
Really? That's
But
crazy.
I don't live in Chicago and I don't go there with that much frequency.
No, but of course. But what I mean is like in terms of like the industry.
I think Feld, at least from my seat, is because of that early polarization, and then of course their performance with Michelin and this high concept. It's getting some interest, but it's so competitive, Jesse. When we talk about what has the national attention, that's why this is such a great show and important to knowledge how difficult it is to give a star to a restaurant, because there's some great restaurants that haven't even been on the radar for Bib Gourmand.
I think obviously I'm really hoping the show does well, but I think it's going to be really fun to go and eat the show, like we did last night going to Noksu. And I love it because I know Jing, I know Bobby, I know Chef Day because doing the show, but watching the show you'll know them just as much as I do. And then it's fun to then go there and eat those dishes that you saw on the show, and you've seen into the chefs' homes. You've been with them when they're talking to their family or their friend in a cafe or whatever. Like you are really on the journey with them, and so I think that's a really fun aspect.
Is Noksu busy? Was it a tough reservation?
Well, I was just doing it with Bobby, so I feel like I've had a little bit of a.
You had a little resi help. You didn't need to go into the app. Okay.
But they could be busier. Like. I
Great
think,
to say that.
Huh?
It's great that you say that.
Yeah, and I think that,
Good.
I love doing, like we touched on earlier, I love with Topjaw where, these restaurants need to be busy. It's all very well having your local spot that you love and you love that you can get a table at any time, but the fact that you can get a table at any time is probably not great for their business.
Definitely not.
And it is tougher and tougher and tougher. Those margins, like us as customers, its cost of living is higher than it's ever been. Their rent is going up like exponentially. Their food costs are going up exponentially. That margin that was never very big to begin with is squeezing. They need bums on seats. And restaurants like Noxu, 12-seat restaurant, if they have 4 empty seats, that's not a profitable night for them.
No.
And and people need to realise that it's great to support these restaurants because they won't be around if we don't.
Preach, man, preach. I really appreciate that sentiment. We repeat it on the show often that these restaurants, even when you see them in headlines and with stars, it's tough out there, and they could be busier.
Yeah.
And I think it's like just check the reservation, write an email. If it's not available, perhaps they can get you in. I think it's like if you enjoy watching Knife Edge and you see one of these restaurants, like go there.
I'm a bit of a last minute dude.
Yeah.
I don't really look that far ahead when it comes to bookings.
Well, I want to talk just a little bit about the other episodes. In the elevator coming up, you're like, did you check the Copenhagen episode? I was like, well, I looked a little bit.
Yeah.
Didn't want to watch. I'm going to watch on Apple TV Plus. But you were like, that's the episode with the drama.
It's got everything, that episode. Like it is really, it's funny, it's exciting, it's blimmin' emotional. Like it pulls you. Even talking about it now, I'm goosebumped up.
Yeah.
Like it's really heavy duty.
Yeah. Well, I'll definitely check that one out. And I guess, season 2, I mean, this can continue, like the series can continue.
Well, exactly. And I'm really hopeful for that because, this series is packed full of, you could make an 8-part series on Noxu. Just Noxu alone.
Yeah, you could, yeah.
Like there are so many stories and, every single year, like these Michelin ceremonies, it's just a hotbed of story.
Well, I want to see you do California personally because I think that list
LA's last episode.
Oh, LA's last episode. Great.
No, actually, sorry, it is California because we do 2 places in LA and 1 in outer California.
Yeah, because it's the full state. Well, I'll check out that last episode.
Yeah, but we could go back, And the thing is, so Michelin are in 50 territories, I think. Maybe there's more now because they've added the Philippines.
Yeah.
But I'd love to see this show go to like Tokyo. That would be really fun.
Fun for you, man.
Well, yeah.
Obviously.
But it's just, and the thing is, because it's so secretive, Michelin have never let any camera crews behind the curtain. They've never let any inspector do anything on record. And this is the first time. Yeah. And it's only because of Gordon Ramsay's relationship and reputation that we managed to get that. Because like Apple TV was saying, it's funny, we got pitched people saying, oh, let's make a series on Michelin over and over, but no one actually had the access. And so Studio Ramsay have got the exclusive access.
Yeah.
And I think year after year, this series could just develop and, explore all these stories around the world.
Did you ever think when you were launching Topjaw 10 years ago that Gordon Ramsay would literally kiss you on your face?
I know, right?
I saw that.
Yeah, that was a moment.
That man kissed you on the face.
Yeah. I'm going to make it my LinkedIn picture. It is crazy. The imposter syndrome I have is off the scale.
Really?
Yes.
No way.
Massively.
I guess I appreciate you being honest.
I remember when Lucy Loveridge, my manager, when she first called me about the show in early 2024, and she said, Apple TV Plus are making a show, exec produced by Gordon Ramsay, following chefs all around the world as they gun it for Michelin stars. And I was like, right. I feel like I was made. I think it's so cliche when actors say it was the role I was born to play, but I was like, no. I have been doing this for years.
Yeah.
And it's everything that I love and I want and I feel like I know about. And I felt like I had no chance of getting it because I was just some kid on social media. And then the fact that then I eventually got this opportunity to do a screen test, I was the most nervous I've ever been in my life. I felt my rib cage flexing through my heartbeat. It was just bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
And I had to learn a script. I'd never really done a script before. Like in Topjaw, it's just all off the cuff, right? And I needed to make it sound as natural and authentically me as possible. And that was a crazy process. And then I didn't know whether I got the gig for a while. And
that must the waiting. But so you never did acting, conservatory or anything?
What, sorry?
Did you do acting yourself?
Oh, when I was younger, yeah, I did like drama school,
But
like stage
yeah.
stuff, but not proper acting, no.
Got it.
But this is the ride of a lifetime. It's the most exciting project I've ever been involved with.
Yeah.
I did a speech on Sunday when Gordon hosted this big like knife edge launch party, and he invited like every Michelin star chef in the country to come, as well as like loads of media and stuff. And I didn't know I was making a speech.
Oh shoot.
And Gordon's like assistant came up to me and went, "Right, can you go chat to Gordon about your speech?" I was like, "You what?" Went to speak to him, and he said, "Right, Jesse, this is how I'm going to introduce you. Is that okay?" I was like, "Oh wow, okay, right." So I'm just making a speech in front of 400 people. Yeah, fine. And I said exactly that. I said, if you could tell me, when I started making videos with my best bud Will War about food in London, if you could say, right, mate, 10 years on, Gordon's going to hand you a mic and ask you to talk about the Apple TV Plus show that you've been hosting that he's made, I'd never have believed that.
Yeah.
And it's what an opportunity.
I love it, Jesse. You come by it honestly, and I like your work, so you deserve it, man. And
Thank you.
I hope the imposter syndrome recedes. I
don't know whether it ever will.
Well, it keeps you, maybe it'll keep your edge.
Yeah, maybe.
Wish you could become a morning person? You know the type, up before the sun, early morning runs, first one to the office with donuts and a smile. How do they do it? Easy. With the new Galaxy Watch 8, sleep tracking and personalized insights from Samsung Health help you improve so you can wake up to a whole new you. One who, dare I say it, skips the snooze? It's possible. Train your sleep with Galaxy Watch 8. Learn more at Samsung.com. Requires compatible Samsung Galaxy phone, Samsung Health app, and Samsung account.
Welcome to Sephora. I'm looking for a perfume that's not too perfumey. I got you.
Serum moisturizer or moisturizer serum.
Let's get into layering.
My concealer is making me look worse.
Sounds like the wrong shade. Let's get you matched.
There's only one store that really gets what you're going for. Get beauty from people who get beauty. Only at Sephora.
Hi, Let's get you a basket.
Jesse, on This Is Taste, we ask guests about their discerning taste. So to close this interview, here's a little rapid fire, fast and furious taste check. Are you ready?
Yep.
The best fruit.
Oh, I think it's got to be a really good strawberry. Specifically, Eve's Delight, which is grown in the UK.
Oh, yeah.
And you get a really good Eve's Delight at the right time of year. That is wild.
I love that you have coveted strawberries.
Yeah, in the supermarket, I look for the variety and who's growing them. George is a grower.
George.
Yeah,
with
George.
Eve's Delight.
If he's done his Eve's Delight, because he's developed that strain, this is quickfire, and I'm not giving you quickfire.
Nah, it's fine. We
I'm
always
very sorry.
go a little bit wordy. What's the worst vegetable?
The worst vegetable... Well, my wife will hate this, but it's probably Brussels sprout. I tolerate Brussels sprouts, and when they're in loads of butter and with bacon and maybe chestnuts, yes, they're lovely, but would another vegetable be better with all those accompaniments?
Probably
Yes.
most, yeah. Let me just ask you as a side, do you like parsnips?
I do like parsnips, yeah. When they're done well, they're
I
powerful.
ask you that because we have had this question on our show for a couple of years, and someone said parsnip. He hated them, put it on Reels. Attacked by the UK audience.
Yeah.
The British love the parsnip.
Oh, yeah, we do.
love
we
that.
hold that front and centre.
I'm kind of in the middle, so.
I think Brussels sprouts are quite divisive.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, you love them or you hate them.
Yep. What is your typical breakfast?
You see, for my job, I eat so much and a lot of restaurant food. So one way that I try and keep the weight off is I never have breakfast.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Got
so I
that
just have
running.
just rail a coffee. Yeah.
Nice. The best dessert.
A rum baba.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking like seriously loads of rum.
Yeah.
Really boozy one. There's a restaurant called Lita in Marylebone in London, and they have this like smoked chantilly cream in the baba, and they get ash from the open fire and they fold it, they whip it in, so you're actually eating proper charcoal, and it's soaked in rum, and it is good.
I love a smoked chantilly or cream. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Smart. Is there a restaurant you wish you could bring back from the dead?
There's a little restaurant called Small and Beautiful that was in Kilburn in London, which is very niche for your show, which I'd like to bring back from the dead. I mean...
Great.
Yeah.
Kilburn, come back. When you're craving fast food, where are you going?
Oh, gosh. Like proper fast food.
Yeah.
KFC mini fillets dunked in their gravy. Get a large gravy.
Yes.
That is living, baby.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's a great call. I feel KFC is big in the UK. I've seen it
and you
there.
twosie that. You get like a tart dip, like a barbecue sauce or something. To remind you how good the gravy is. You bounce between those.
Oh yeah, sweet and sour or barbecue into the gravy.
Yeah,
and
because
the
if
double.
you just do the gravy, then you become complacent, right?
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
forget how great it is. But if you twosie it with a barbecue,
you go back and forth flavors, acid then gravy. It's smart. What is your favorite city in the world to visit for food?
I mean, Austin, I love. Oh, you said outside America. On your
in the world.
on your
I mean,
sheet.
if you say Austin, that's cool.
I'd love to go back to Austin.
Yeah.
I'd bite your hand off if you give me the opportunity. Bangkok is also really good.
It's a good one.
And like you've asked for one city, quick fire.
We can go a couple. It's fine.
Butter chicken in Mumbai. Holy hell, that is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that choice. My mind is going to Mumbai. Yeah.
Yeah, Mumbai is
it's good.
It's a crazy place, but it is it's wonderful.
I had some terrific food there myself. Last one, your favorite sandwich?
My favorite sandwich is probably coronation chicken. Have you had it?
We've written about it, but I don't think I've
really.
Tell me about it. I forget.
So it was made to celebrate like a royal jubilee, I think, in the UK.
Yeah.
And it's a really good representation of like British food because it's very Indian influenced, right? And it's like a curried chicken. So it's like emulsified basically.
Yeah, that's it. I've totally had this, of course.
Yeah, in a very thick mayo. And then it has like raisins in it and stuff. And that would like on good bread with crunchy lettuce. Yeah, man.
I love that choice. Jesse Burgess, thank you so much for joining This Is Taste.
Thank you for having me. Thank you very much.
This Is Taste is hosted and produced by Eliza Barbanel and me, Matt Rodbar. The show is edited by lead producer Clayton Gumbert and supervised by Pat Stango, Director of Media Production and Development at Penguin Random House. Thanks to Shalia Harris and the production team at Penguin Random House. Theme music by Steve Rydell. Logo and guest illustrations by Ellie Skurzat. Visit Taste online at tastecooking.com and make sure to subscribe to our newsletter to keep updated on all cool things in the world of taste.